Basically, what we are planning to do is manager-ready campaign. Um, it will be in phases. First, to start with educating the market. Um, when I started thinking about to educate the market, I started thinking whether market is aware about frontline leadership and the issues which they are facing. And sometimes we keep on saying frontline is important, but how persona, how the people who are actually I'm targeting L&D managers or L&D heads, how they are thinking. Do they really think these managers, these people, so frontline leaders, are they important and they are okay to develop them? Because turnover happens or people actually change jobs most of the time at this level. So do they want to invest? And even our report, frontline leaders report says uh, there is a maximum turnover, or it's a learning academy wherein people come, learn, and your competitors come and they take them away. So if I start investing so much in them and they goes, is it going to benefit? So these are that's the background when I started looking at frontline leaders. Basically how I can do it, what I can do it to actually generate interest in their development. So my main goal is first in education phase, it's a three-phase campaign. First phase is education, second is solution, third is product. So basically, when in my first phase, I'll be educating the problems. In that, I'll be talking about the challenges faced by frontline leaders. Secondly, I'll talk about what are the challenges and opportunities available at the frontline leaders. So that's phase one. Stage one is just the challenges. This is the mailer all about that. Second mailer will be for again for the challenges, but the second stage will be the takeaway will be webinar. Right now, action desired is download the report. In second second stage, action required will be attend the webinar. And the third stage, I'll start talking about what is the solution available. So there probably we can have an event. And third will be ask for a demo. So this is how I'm planning a campaign. This will be about 6 months to 9 months campaign altogether timeline. But to begin with, I'm just focusing on stage one where I'm requesting HR professionals, specifically targeting L&D managers to download the report. So that's the background. So,
am I allowed to ask a question?
Yeah, please.
Is there, I think if I understand correctly, yes. You said there is a business, you're responding to the challenge that that some companies are investing in frontline leaders and then they're worried about them leaving and retention?
No, I'm
Tell
challenging.
me more about the business, the challenge that you want to address.
I'm challenging the status quo of their thinking, where right now they're thinking, my friend, there's no issue with the front line. I'm okay with 30% of turnover at that level. They are not even considering if these people go up, what will happen, because today they are frontline managers, frontline leaders. Tomorrow they'll be at mid-level. So if, for example, if we met up with some insurance company some years back, when I joined, that was my first meeting, that's why I remember so well. That's the time India was in growth story. They were like, they wanted people, they hired people who were ready to join them tomorrow. The criteria was hiring was how soon this person can join me. So, because they had a fleet on street, you actually need to go, there is a FOS we call it. So, these fleets on the street were going and talking with people. They wanted somebody to just manage them. So they hired left, right and center, and now these people are growing in the organization. Now they have questioned, were they, the way they were doing the business was right, pushing someone to the limits, Then maybe sometimes ethics was the questions. You give false promises. Sometimes how you speak with your customers. That's, I mean, your communication, how you influence them. I mean, they were started facing entire issue. Earlier, they were just the managers managing the agencies and all that. Now they started managing their own people, and now they might start managing the rations. So right now, maybe you can't see that problem coming, but once they start growing in the organization, you'll start that problem coming.
Okay, so you're saying the business challenge is to plant a seed of doubt that the
Yes.
frontline leaders have the true leadership skills that they need.
Yeah.
And in the past, they've been getting by,
Yeah.
and it has been okay. But as they continue to move up, this will
Yes.
cause a problem.
Absolutely.
So you are.
And there will be cultural
okay.
issues. You'll see good teams, good people leaving.
Okay.
You'll see all the challenges. I mean, all the leadership challenges
Okay.
will start from there.
Okay, thank you.
So here my goal is to, I mean, in education phase, I'm gonna challenge the status quo with what is happening right now currently in this organization.
Okay, very good.
And that's why I said I'm not even sure whether my market is even aware about the challenges. If I even
Right.
give that much importance to frontline leaders, or they just feel, okay, these are the cheapest resources available, so I can replace them. And I require churn basically at that level most of the times. So it's quite critical, at least their high post should have proper training. And
Yeah.
people who are getting promoted should have proper training.
Okay.
So the mailer would be talking about, so main takeaway from this entire message, challenges faced by frontline leaders. Action desired will be download the report.
Is it, which report? Global leadership?
Global,
Report again?
okay, sorry, to frontline leadership, sorry, our first run study.
Good, okay.
Because it's till the time you don't assess them, you don't find out what is lacking, you don't know where your organization stands. And if you don't know where your organization stands, it's like you're shooting arrows in the dark. You don't know what to train them on. So subject line is, it's quite provocative. They do not need any training. So it's generally people talk about we need training, but we say we don't know this training, and that's the fact. People don't give them leadership training at this level. So frontline leaders does not need any leadership development. That's what I'm.
So that will be provocative.
That's very provocative. It's generally it's a different way to presenting the fact. And oops. I really taken away with the idea of infographics, using them. So I'll be using infographics in the header. Salutation will be, there won't be any name because I'm not sure which data I'll be using. I'll be using publishers' data or the data, not to our contacts, but I'll be using some. I need to educate the entire industry, so I need to use different data altogether.
Are you saying third-party data
Third-party
will be
data,
better?
Yes. Because when you think of educating the entire industry, you need to see to it that the entire data or your mailer is reaching out to all the HR professionals in the country. So body copy says frontline leader, which is also known to execute the strategy, known to influence for influencing decisions, and responsible for managing the feet on the street. Most of the times are unprepared to manage leadership role. This is what research says. So this is again takes to the fact that they are taking chances and experimenting the leadership skills. So 2 out of 3 leaders say they learned leadership skills by trial and error. Does that ring the bell?
Yes.
Bad leadership also creates the issues such as, then I've given some example of bad leadership. There's some grammatical errors which will work on that as well. So what happens? You have poor performance, low morale, your reputation goes down. It's not there, but it's generally what happens with the bad leadership, low engagement and employee suppression. That's the reason there is a high turnover at bottom level of leadership if compared to mid and senior. To know where frontline leader stands on 9 critical competencies which are needed to succeed in a role, please click here. So that's how we'll download the report. That's a key action which will come.
Nice.
And we'll end with, for an exclusive personalized discussion, feel free to contact us.
Very nice.
And that's how first mailer will look like.
Good. Will you plan to gate the first run study?
Yes.
So you can
Yes,
capture
so we
those
can
people?
capture those people, and then we can move them in the system so that whenever we are doing a webinar, we can ask them to join in, whenever event is there, we can. So more than, if they are engaged more with us, I'm sure pain will be more, or they must be facing some kind of leadership challenge that we are talking about, and they'll be able to look for the solution. And second will be, you want to say
Sure.
second
Sure.
one as well. This is again completely same thing but presented in a different way, wherein we are talking about imagine a pilot without training. So that would be my subject line.
Nice.
And same here, main takeaway is development challenge faced by frontline leaders. I mean, the challenges, and even there's no development happening. They are going through interpersonal skills. That's what happened with me when I was managing a team in a bank. I actually gone for a training on interpersonal skills, and I thought I have the best interpersonal skill. Was that needed that time? I'm not sure. And then passion was another training. So rather than how to manage team, I was going through these kind of trainings, and these were 2 days program, I mean, every time. So are these needed, or what kind of learning is needed is really critical to find out. So action is again download the first run study. Subject line is imagine a pilot without a training, and here I kind of trying to build a story. Say, imagine you see a person who is very nervous with his new job. You see him flipping through a book, How to Fly. You heard that person saying, I'm so worried, I'm going to fly a plane without training. And a moment later, you see him entering into the cockpit of your plane.
So cute.
That's the state of frontline leadership. About 2 out of 3 leaders don't feel confident about managing a new role. On top of it, half of the frontline leaders do not have specific written plan. To know more about frontline leaders and their challenges, please download the report. So it's trying to build that story of flying, where they stand, giving them analogy so that it becomes real for them.
Yes, that's very nice.
And for an exclusive, these are the 2 mailers. The next stage will be webinar, post that event and post that demo. So people who will stick with us longer, I'm sure will buy.